HK Army is at it again with some top-notch creations that will be dropping soon, and this episode is brought to you by the new Alpha Air Tank from HK Army. These tanks are the lightest and most stylish tanks HK has ever created, and myself and Houston Heat were absolutely loving the feel and look of these Alpha Air Tanks in Las Vegas. Stay tuned to PTG and HK Army for the official launch date happening soon, and head over to hkarmy.com to secure yours when they drop. You are not going to believe how light the Alpha Air Tank is going to make your setup feel, and you can get it by going to hkarmy.com when they drop. This episode is brought to you by Lone Wolf Paintball. They are an amazing online supplier and have been around since the beginning of the game as Michigan's premier paintball field and paintball supplier since 1987. They are rapidly expanding into the online retail space and supplying everything you need to be the best paintball player you can be. They have got it all. Head over to lonewolfpaintball.com and shop all of your favorite brands. And they also boast amazing customer service and will have this out to you with same-day shipping, which is amazing. It's always nice to know that your stuff is on its way immediately so you can start to use it that very next weekend of play. Check out their YouTube, Lone Wolf Paintball, and their Instagram at Lone Wolf PB, and stay up to date with all of their deals and sales. Play the Game podcast is immensely honored to have them on board, and we cannot wait for you guys to check out lonewolfpaintball.com and become a part of their community.
What's going on, PTG Nation? Thank you guys so much for tuning in and rocking with us. This episode, we have none other than Tom Cole, president of the NXL. The NXL is on fire right now in a good way. They just had one of the biggest events of all time. It was actually the biggest non-World Cup event ever, which is massive. They had the Summit Award show, the Summit Week. Everything has gone excellent. Hertz is happy. There's all sorts of great, exciting news. So without further ado, we're going to hop in the show.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication.
And the crowd starts chanting Harmon. Great shot by all the guys. So Tyler Harmon saved that game.
He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
Oh,
Show ever.
I mean, we were recording there. I'm not even going to do an intro. That best show ever by Tom Cole, president of the NXL. We are back from the Las Vegas major, the opening event of the season, the Summit Awards, the whole Summit Week. A ton of amazing, exciting stuff. The first event was awesome, and so we're really thankful to have you here, Tom, and thank you for that awesome intro.
No problem. Glad we caught that recording there. Thanks.
To be fair, I said I'm going to hit the record button.
I know.
I was like, and then you were just being candid, saying best show ever. So, it happens.
Yeah. Candid Tom is always a better Tom, that's for sure.
Well, it's great to have you, man. It really is. Thanks. Tom, and you guys crushed it out there at Vegas. One of the, if not the biggest opening tournament ever.
Yeah, it's actually the largest non-World Cup event ever. We actually were 10 teams short of beating the PSP's previous World Cup number, their 2014 number. So we had like 344 and they had 354. So that event was as big as a pre-NXL World Cup. So it was the largest first event. And we're on track. Texas is off the hook too. So
yeah.
Now, Tom, my question is always teams are great. It's awesome. We are offering, more divisions and more opportunity for like the same players to play as, on multiple teams throughout the event. How about just from a player standpoint? How many players did we have? Are we breaking records with that as far as
participation? Yep. So when you break records in the X-Ball category, which is the primary of the category that we have, these are the largest X-Ball events ever. So that's
okay.
Yeah. This is not even, matter of fact, we actually cut back on the amount of teams that we were going to take in like the fringe divisions, you'd call them, right? Like the 3-man and all that stuff, because we needed to be out of there Sunday because of the award show.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't want to take a whole bunch more teams and run it into dark and all that kind of stuff. So we actually cut back on that to make it, more enjoyable experience for not just our staff, but also the players and everybody so they could get over there.
Yeah, there was a good buzz out there. Everyone was having a lot of fun. Obviously, you're in Las Vegas, so there's literally a buzz as well. Everyone's out there kind of partying and having a great time in the divisional ranks. And obviously, the professional is cutthroat, serious, but you could tell that people were really having a good time out there at that event. So it's cool to see, and it's great to see paintball just trending in the way that it is. We had Tyler Algier from the Falcons. We had David Montgomery from the Lions out there. Dirty Goth Boy, Mickey was out there. So a lot of people are having fun at the events.
Yeah, and another good thing is like we work pretty good with the other promoters, right? Like so Mike WC, they moved their dates around to make sure that Vegas could be big, and we kind of moved around. So that's one of the reasons why the event was bigger. You know what I mean? In the past, I believe everybody kind of stepped on each other's dates a little bit. So I think I think we have a good relationship with the other leagues, and I think it's good that everybody's working together because Mike's also up. All the major leagues are up right now, so it's a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the US XBL is having like some record-breaking events as well as far as team counts. And Mike took them over last year.
Yeah, no, Mike's going to do a good job for sure.
Yeah. So Tom, do you think that's just tournament paintball as a whole is improving and people are more excited to play the tournament side of things? And if so, why do you think that is?
It's a little bit of everything. One, I mean, everybody's up their game, right? So what the expectation of a tournament now versus 10 years ago is light years ahead of where it was, right? I was just watching some old footage. I was watching the Impact series from like, I'm going to say 2013, 2014, and just looking at the events and looking at where the events are now. Like there's a big difference. And it's not just at our level. It's also all the local leagues are doing a better job, right? They're more professional. They're more ingrained. But we are, on the negative side, we are taking a bigger market share of roughly the same number of teams that are playing. So the good leagues are growing, but there's less leagues, right? As we've made the leagues more technical and there's more of a barrier to entry, right? You got to spend a lot of money to run a good local league now, regional league, I guess you should call it. And so that's made it harder for new leagues to start. So I think some of it, we are seeing some growth, and some of it's the COVID bump. But I just think everybody's doing a better job.
Yeah, there's so much media right now covering paintball, and a lot of, Hertz sponsored a bunker. We got big companies getting involved, and I'm sure that's like, that's going to be a trend where they're going to see Hertz is involved and say, oh, well, maybe we can have a bunker out there,
For sure. Lots of people call us about the bunkers. That is our number one selling point right now.
Yeah.
Is bunkers.
Awesome. Is there a plan to try to sell every single bunker on the field, or do you want to keep some, league identity?
I think we're just going to keep it to the two right now. We have a per event bunker, and then we have our master bunker, like the Hertz bunker, the overall sponsor.
Okay. Awesome. And I assume you've talked
too like weird like that, right?
Yeah, certainly. There might be a way to kind of co-brand. So instead of doing like an entire bunker that is the whole bunker is a different color, etc., you could have like the normal MLPB bunker with a minor sponsor right below it. On that bunker. It wouldn't really change the aesthetic too much, but they would get their branding.
Yep, it's not a bad idea.
Nice. So have you talked to Hertz since the Vegas event?
I have secondhand.
Okay.
So they were sold out of cars.
Awesome. Good job, everybody.
They were overall really happy. I know some people had some issues where they didn't have cars, so that was a problem. But overall, yeah, everything seemed to go great. I mean, they like the branding. They like the fact that they sold out of cars. So that's a good trend.
No, that's huge. And that was what everyone was pushing for, like rent from Hertz. If they're doing this or taking a leap on us, let's go support them.
The fact that they sold out was impressive. That made them happy, made me happy. I mean, overall, everything I thought everything went well for the events from the players' point of view, right? Like everybody stepped up, right? So like players party that we threw, which I think is something we're going to talk about, right? That wouldn't have been successful no matter what we did, right? If the players didn't come, right? And so the fact that so many people came to that, made it work
Yeah, people showed out. It was a party. People were having fun in there.
They told us between 850 to 900 people were at that award show.
Sheesh, that's outstanding.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if we were going to get 100, you know what I mean, when we were playing that, right?
Yeah.
So, and it was, it wasn't cheap. There was a lot on the line there to try and make that go. But I thought it was pretty epic. Like, we really wanted to have that, when you walked in, you saw the Major League Paintball things right on the foyer. I mean, I really wanted that line of people waiting to get in so that everybody at the casino was going to be like, oh, wow, what is this? And obviously they were going to understand what Major League Paintball was. They were going to know we had an award show. So
I wonder if any non-paintball people ended up buying wristbands at the front there and came in. Do we have any way to track that? I don't think we do.
No, we wouldn't have a way to track that, but no one said anything to me. Like, what have I walked into? And I made the rounds, right? I was constantly on tour there. So, but yeah, that would have been neat if someone would have came in.
Yeah, certainly. That was
Just bring on the show.
It's amazing how you just vanish into the abyss there when you back up.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What kind of technology? Tom beaming down from the Illuminati.
Well, I mean, when you get as much crap online as I do, you got to be able to disappear. So, there's the dog. He's a crazy
Tom.
He's going wild.
We talk about this all the time, Tom. You pay attention to the loud minority, but a majority of people out there right now, I believe, think you're doing an amazing job. I know Tyler and myself are really impressed and thankful for everything that we have going on. The Summit Awards, the NXL right now. It seems like everything is in a really good direction. Tyler and myself had a phone call this afternoon, and we were just kind of discussing paintball and the track that it's on and how exciting it is. And I think everybody that's listening should be really enthusiastic for the future, because it seems like, again, paintball's kind of at this point where there's a lot of outside interest. There's a lot of excitement. There's a good buzz. The product is in a really good place. Media is in a good place. And if we play our cards right this time, it could be the time that we break through, Well,
it's funny, right? Because you always see this, like, whether it's negative or positive, right? They're always like #grow paintball, right? They're always, if someone's taking a shot at us, they're like, way to try and grow paintball. And if they're happy with us, they're like, go grow paintball. But, there's two ways to grow, right? So one is like to mature, right? Become like a better product, a better person or whatever, grow as a league. And there's also the actual number of just getting bigger, right? And I feel like we are doing both, right? So not only do we have the largest event, which is really good, right? But we are also becoming more mature. We had a proper award show, and by no means did it go off without hitches or a little bit of bugs or whatever, stuff we could have done better. We definitely could have done a better job for the scenario side and the stores and field side. But we're just setting ourselves up to be successful, right? Yeah. I think it's something coaches probably say, right? You're not going to win every point, but you just got to put yourself in the right position to take advantage of it when you get the chance. So I feel like things are going in a very good direction. So
yeah, Tom, I've shared this story. I think probably on one of the episodes since Vegas, but there's a kid at my gym. He's like 20 years old, plays D1 basketball. He's super, athletic, into sports outside of paintball. He's into mainstream sports. And over the last year, we've become, kind of friends, kind of buddies, because I'll go in there, I'll shoot hoops with him, and we'll talk. And I remember when I first, told him I play paintball, he's like, oh, that's cool, whatever. And I told him, no, it's like professional. And we talked, right now, cool. Over the last like 6 months, he follows me on Instagram. He's been keeping up with everything. Now, when I walk into the gym, he literally like stops his buddies and like, hey, you got to meet this guy. This is Marcelo. He's like, one of the best paintball players in the world. Look at this. Like, they do all this. And he's showing off the award show that was just, posted on my Instagram, and I was sharing videos with him. And he's like, dude, what you guys are doing, like, this is legit. Paintball is the next big thing. Like, he's so excited about it. I'm not kidding, Tom. I saw him today. Every single day I see him, he is like excited about paintball. He's commenting on all like the, NXL post and Dynasty post. He's never played in his life. He never played in his life.
But this is fan.
100%, 100%. And, I tout, that he plays basketball at a high level, because again, it's like, I think when you're getting recognition from these other athletes that are in sports that are well established and, have like this clear end goal of what you could make if you become a professional, and you have people like David Montgomery and Tyler Algier and, all these, again, high profile athletes that are now looking at the sport and seeing stuff like that award ceremony, where again, we've talked about it every single show since Vegas, how that was probably, it's like top 3 greatest experiences I've had in paintball. Just like being in that capacity, that official capacity for a paintball event, how incredible that was, and how like proud we can be to show that to people that don't know paintball. They're like, oh, you play professional paintball? What's that? That's not a thing. Oh, yes, it is. Look at this,
Yeah. I mean, you could have brought your family to that. You could have brought your, what I mean? Your girlfriend to that. I mean, that's something that you could be proud of, right?
Right.
I was afraid to talk because I got choked up when I walked in and we saw the line with the Major League Paintball stuff. I was like, I might not be able to talk. I was so excited about the event. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was,
me too.
Yeah.
That was the most stressed I've been. Like, I don't know if everybody could tell, but I was like losing my mind because I didn't know if anybody was going to show up. You know what I mean? We didn't know anything. Never done that before. So.
It was impressive. And I know Quinn also helped quite a bit with getting the awards and all that dialed in and did a lot
Quinn's
on that.
I mean, it would have been a disaster without all the help we got, right? So not only were we running the largest event ever, we're running the first time we've ever run the store and field conference. It's also the first award show we've ever done. And we didn't, we try and never do anything hokey. And so, obviously we went all out for the award show. So we needed it to be, a wow factor. But yeah, Quinn helped out. Ryan helped out. Gina helped out. You know what I mean? Like we had so many people. Plus then our staff was doing double duty, right? So I was so tired after that event. I didn't even realize it until I got home. I was just like, I'm exhausted. So
for sure. Yeah, it was spectacular. All right. So just let it be known. We got to keep that rolling. Hopefully Vegas will have us back for 2025 next year.
Yeah, we will see. Our original plan was to move it back to Florida to rotate it every other year because Vegas is so expensive. But yeah, we're going to revisit that now and see what happens. So
Tom, I got to ask a tough question.
Yep.
Ready for it?
Yeah, I'm always ready.
What happened with the cleanup afterwards?
So we're not 100% sure. So we walked it with the park, right? We do a checkout, right? We do a punch list in case there's something that's not done right.
Right.
So we had no issues there when we walked the park. So there was a water main got flooded. One of the pipes flooded. So there's a chance that because I talked to my team afterwards, there's a chance that the water kind of went through the grass and then like made the grass lay down and made the paintballs kind of pop as far as making it look like it showed up. But we left it as clean as we ever leave that park. I mean, there's always going to be paintballs lying around, right? Because the kids take them and do all that stuff. So the park's not unhappy. Obviously, they didn't appreciate the news stories. And painted in a light. But, I mean, you're going to have people are going to complain, right? It's their public park, right?
Of course.
So they don't necessarily see the economic impact of paintball and they don't see what we did. You know what I mean? So they were just frustrated. And obviously when I saw the video, I was concerned, and I called my guys and like, we didn't miss anything. There was no huge area of paintballs that we missed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we haven't quite figured out what happened, whether they took some pictures that kind of blew it out of proportion, or did whatever. And I told you, I've had that happen before, even at one of our events from one of our players at Philly, the year that it was a dirt field. Remember that when it was dirt?
Yeah, of course.
I saw a lady grab a rock from in the woods and throw it on the field and take a picture of it. And I was like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, it's crap. And I was like, it's crappy enough without you bringing rocks in to make your point.
It's crappy
like,
enough.
yeah, that probably wasn't the best choice. And I was like, yeah, I mean, just take pictures of the dirt. Plenty of people are making fun of me for the dirt. You don't need to drag a prop in to make it look better. So, and people do that, right? I mean, it just is what it is. But, we had a meeting about it. We got to make sure we do a better job of cleaning it up. But that's why we have the punch out list with the vendor, right? We want to make sure that the guy that is in charge of making sure it's clean is like, you're good.
Awesome.
So
awesome. And just for
the event. So
what's that?
We didn't leave until Friday after the event. So we're there a whole other week.
Right. Yeah. Just so the listeners that aren't aware, there was, some complaints that, there was a little bit of a mess left behind by the NXL, and there were some small news stories from, local people that were frustrated. But it's really good to hear that the park doesn't seem like they were upset. And do you think we will be back there next year? Too early to tell.
Actually, so, and the secret is that whole area they bulldozed, right? They want us to come back and use that other area. They're supposed to be putting in turf. And they've asked us to move World Cup there. Obviously, that's a big ask, but that's one of the things they asked. So,
whoa, that is a big ask.
Wow.
So, I mean, and that's something everybody's got to realize. Like, we are a huge economic impact to these towns.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and you always get some complaints. It's one of my favorite stories. Like, early on, we did a meeting, and like the area that we wanted to use was the overflow practice field for the rugby team. And so, you know, I'm in a meeting with the mayor and the park officials and people from the rugby team and all this stuff. And they're like, you know, we can't let you use it because it's going to get messed up. And I was like, okay, you know, I was like, you know, we do bring in over $1 million in economic impact. And the mayor was like, could you leave the room for a minute? And then I left the room. He's like, hey, I don't care about the overflow rugby practice. Let's get these guys in here. And so that was good. So, yeah, so the cities really want us there.
Okay, awesome. I mean, amazing, because Vegas, I think, it's a great location. It's really nice to have a West Coast event. Vegas is a really fun, iconic place. You know,
it's expensive.
Yeah, to be at Craig Ranch out there, expensive.
I mean, just for the players and the teams and stuff. Expensive.
Oh, not for us. It was super cheap for us.
Okay, got it. California people.
We have to fly. You know, it's great that we're in the same time zone. It was cheap travel. It wasn't, you know, you didn't have to spend 8 hours traveling across the country with a layover. It was great. It was fantastic.
Got it. Okay.
But in the past, the problem has been West Coast teams don't show up. That's been the problem in the past, right?
Yes, it's been the problem.
Yeah.
We sold out of pump teams at this event.
Oh, whoa, that's crazy.
Nice.
Pump division, yeah. That's a West Coast thing, that's for sure.
Yeah, the pump.
I thought the hotel was great. You know, they welcomed us with, you know, open arms there. They're very happy. They were sold out the Sunday night of the award show.
Awesome.
So I myself witnessed plenty of paintball people gambling away their hard-earned money. So, so that
would they like to have us back? Have you had those discussions?
We have had those discussions, yes.
And
so, yeah, no, they seem interested.
Awesome.
It's two things we messed up. Like we overpromised the hotels, right? So we didn't have as many room nights as we wanted because I think people stayed closer to the event and then moved over there on Sunday night. And we got lucky that they included a lot of the alcohol in our food and beverage spend. So we really bought no food. And I know that's a sore point for you, but you know, usually when you're renting a hall like that, they want you to buy food and beverage. And because we're paintball people, we just really bought beverage.
Yeah.
So our drink tab was pretty good. So that made up for a lot of our sins there. But yeah, overall, they seem super happy.
But our food, I'm telling you, because we were on the show.
That's not the type of food they want. They want you to pre-book the food. They want it to be like $120 a person, and you sit down and you get like a chicken cacciatore or something, right? And you eat like a more, you know, that type of meal.
That's interesting because it doesn't seem like their infrastructure is even set up for that. It's not like there's dinner tables and stuff.
All they're set up for. No, they had to take it all out. No, and that's what a typical convention is. Like if that was an award show, like that would have been rented by the NFL or whatever. It would be a sit down and there'd be a meal.
I see.
I just didn't think paintball people were looking to spend, especially on our first time, you know, $120 on a ticket, right? We'd had 6 people in there.
Yeah, you might be right. I do think that there's probably a lot more intrigue and people understand it now. They might be willing to. And I know, my goodness, for all the players that went straight from the event to the award show, it was such a tough turnaround, especially if you were there late Sunday, even just watching the finals, right? And then you quick turnaround, like you're trying to grab whatever quick you can to eat, you know, and get there. But if there was food, I mean, I think a lot of people would have been excited.
Yeah, and it's interesting. A lot of people, you know, give different dates and ways that we can do it, right? You know, coulda, woulda, shoulda. But I think really the only way that award show was going to work is the way that it happened. If the award show would have been on Friday, no one would have went. If it was on Monday, no one would have went. For sure. If the summit was the weekend before, the summit people wouldn't have gone to the award show. It was almost like the perfect storm for the award show because everybody was there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And we've learned some stuff that we would do better next time if we do it next time. But it's it was a lot.
Hold on, what do you mean if, Tom? You know, you set the bar, so we have to do it again.
We should have done it. We should have set the bar a little lower.
Yeah, because the event was so professionally done, and the look, the branding, everything was so spot on. The music, the energy, you had the stage, the cabanas, everyone's having a good time. It was the real deal. It was really nice.
I kept telling people it's going to be a legit award show.
It was legit.
Yeah, but Tom, I mean, like, of course people are going to be skeptical. Come on now, it's paintball players.
Yeah.
Now the ones that didn't go, first of all, I'm for everyone here listening, if you are one of the pros that didn't have like a real life situation that was calling you to get home, I'm really disappointed that you weren't there. And I hope you know that. As far as I do, honestly, it's like really frustrating, really irritating.
Did J-Rab say that he like wanted us to be the black tie or something? Was that on your show?
Yeah. He was like,
he didn't come.
He showed up. He showed up at the end.
He did. He was there.
Wearing a t-shirt, right?
He was there. I don't know what he was wearing. I don't remember what he was wearing.
He wants us to make it more dressy, but he's not even going to show up.
He was there. He was there, Tom. He was there.
At the end.
He was there. They had a team dinner. Teams from Russia.
No one else was there, right? Like, that's the problem, right? A party's only a party if everybody's there. So he got text. Sure. I'm making this up, but I'm sure he got some pictures, some text. He's like, oh, wow, this thing's real. And then he went. But he could have been part of what made it real if he would have showed up there on the time. So it's my one shot at J-Rab.
Hey, he was looking for his black tie. He was trying to find it. He couldn't find one in time. He got in there.
Decided to go with the t-shirt.
I thought he played good. I thought he played good that weekend, though.
He did play really good.
Yeah.
The Russians are definitely a contender all season.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I do think for all the people that did not go, disappointed, but I do think that they're like, damn, that actually looked really cool, and I'm not going to miss it next time. And it's just one of those things that would be, and I'm going to put a lot of pressure on you here. One of those things that would be a big shame if we do it once, and then it's one of those things that just kind of fizzles out. Like, hopefully we just continuously build off this, and are able to do something similar. If it can't be at the Sahara, okay, but like something similar, of that kind of magnitude.
Yeah, it's going to be, I mean, we got really lucky with we put in some time to make it happen, but we got lucky with that venue. I mean, it was,
for sure.
I mean, everything was perfect. Sure. You know what I mean? And if it would have rained, we had a backup venue, would have been nowhere near as cool.
But still cool. If you could get TVs in there,
we would have almost been better off of having the backup venue be the first year. So then we could have brought it to this venue the second year. But now if I do anything else, we're going to be in trouble.
Well, good. Look, the future of paintball.
I didn't come. You're like, hey, it wasn't like this the first year.
You should have showed up. If you would have showed up, we would have for sure been back here the second year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of pressure, Tom, because that I think this is one of the things that could really keep paintball moving forward in the right direction. So don't mess up the award show.
Yeah, I'll do my best. But yeah, it's something that you could be proud to bring anybody to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was the cool thing.
Kind of what we wanted, right?
Right.
You guys crushed it on that. And then speaking of things that are getting paintball in a better light, you got the new video game branding that you guys just did. I think it went live today. And
I believe it was live today.
Yeah, that's with Paintballers. Is that the new name?
Yep, from Black Zebra Studios. The video game is called Paintballers, and it's MLPB 24, which is awesome to have the collaboration with the league. Really, really excited about that. Formerly known as Virtua PB, but another company had a problem with that. Get it? So now we're in a better direction.
Yeah, I think it's super exciting. Like I said, it's like all these little steps, right? You got to take all these little steps to put yourself in a position to win, right? And I think we're getting there. So
yeah, absolutely.
So we got, think about it in the past. Not only have we added the ICPL, the NXL Europe, the WNXL, we now have insurance for the players. We have an outside sponsor. We had the largest World Cup, now the largest non-World Cup event. Just added a video game. Just did an award show. I think we're moving things in the right direction for sure.
Yes, without a doubt. And, the key is that we all just keep staying positive and boosting paintball as much as we can socially on the internet. It's huge. What everyone does out there has huge implications on the trajectory of paintball. So we got to make sure we really take that seriously.
Which is why it was important to me to have the media awards in there, right? Because
yeah, absolutely.
Those guys, you guys, and all the photographers, video guys, they've been crushing it, right? And they're the part of the reason for this growth spurt, right? So yeah, it's pretty good.
The media gang is strong right now. Media gang is powerful.
Really
yep, it is. Really there's a lot of paintball love, and that's what it takes. It's something that people, they see how passionate you are and they want to get involved, and that's just how this is going to work. And paintball is a really fun game by nature, but when we all do a good job, it just fast tracks it.
And it's great in little shorts, right? Those little shorts are catchy.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Again, it's everything, and everybody has been contributing to the success of paintball, and media is a big part of it. Certainly all the shows, all the, again, Instagram influencers, I guess you could call them, in the media space, that are just constantly, people like Verbal and Ryan Moffitt and, everyone. I mean, I'm leaving people out. It's a long list of people that are just constantly putting out paintball content. They're talking about, the award show. They're talking about Vegas. They're talking about upcoming events. There's clips going viral on social media of, paintball. A good place to be.
Well, what I hope it makes other people step up and see an opportunity to do it. Kind of keep these young, new people, whether they're young or new, whatever, but new people trying to get into the space and kind of make some stuff happen. Hopefully it'll make everybody up their game.
Yeah.
And then we're going to Atlantic City. Is that right? We're heading out there.
Atlantic City. Crowd favorite there. Crowd favorite.
I don't mind. I love Atlantic City. Shout out to the East Coast. I mean, East Coast paintball. It's where like the game pretty much, didn't it come out of the East Coast? Paintball in general.
The East Coast, yeah.
It's the Mecca.
The Mecca.
Yeah.
The Mecca. Well, then Southern California kind of ruined it for everybody. The
location is the same one we used to go to, right?
Correct. Yes, Bader Field. It's called.
That's right.
Yeah, and I'll just give the backstory there just so everybody knows, because there's been some different speculation or whatever.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, we have a relationship with the city, Valley Forge. We have a great relationship with the city. We have that property there that we use, it's basically been designed for us. And they told us in the beginning that our dates were going to be a bad date because they have a huge volleyball and soccer championships. And don't quote me on the exact sport, but 2 big amateur events are going on, and it's just driving the hotel prices significantly higher than Atlantic City. And so we kind of went back and forth and just chose Atlantic City because it is going to be cheaper. I mean, it's still not cheap, you know what I mean? But it's cheaper than it would have been at Valley Forge.
Oh, so we could have went to Valley Forge. It was a conscious decision based on...
There was going to be no hotels.
Got it.
It was going to be that, because that event is breaking records. Their event is already breaking records. And so it would have been really challenging. So we are hoping to kind of go back to Valley Forge and move our event there to September, when the hotels would be cheaper, and we would move our Chicago venue to make sure that was at the June time slot.
Oh, we're going back to the super hot Chicago events.
What's super hot?
Chicago used to be in June. Those were fun.
Those were fun.
Those were fun.
We made a conscious decision with the NXL to move that. So it used to be with the PSP, the 4th event was always kind of a dead event. And because it was a dead event, we were all kind of putting them in locations that we also knew were going to be dead. They were like self-fulfilling. Phoenix and Riverside, and then we did Nashville, you know what I mean? Like we kind of gave it a bad venue. And by moving Chicago and then going to a Mid-Atlantic, we made both of those events pretty viable. So, I mean, if you look back, I mean, the PSP would have numbers on that 4th event, like 91 teams. It was a significant step down. And now we don't have that. So, but now I feel comfortable moving those down around a little bit to try and make the venues and the travel a little more affordable.
All right, get that training going out there, get exercising, get in the sauna, because it's got the Chicago.
It's not everywhere. I don't think you're going anywhere. I don't think it's any colder in Philly than it is in Chicago.
No, I mean, every year.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, come on. We
can
know
we just
this.
get back out front of Qualcomm?
Where is Qualcomm? Is that Denver?
Yeah, Marcelo said San Diego is pretty nice. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No,
Qualcomm City. It's not even there anymore. Qualcomm's not even there anymore. But what's funny is like people think back to kind of the glory days of, NPPL and when they were, in the parking lots of the stadiums. We couldn't even fit an event there anymore.
Oh, yeah, I get so mad. I see all the people chiming in like with the glory days and all that stuff.
We are in the glory days.
So much bigger than we were back then, Even I was surprised at some of the numbers, because when you played them, they felt so huge. And then you look back and they weren't that big. And we're doing split deck, right? So if you compare that to the PSP events, they were running, I think we played 10 pros on the pro field, maybe 8 back in the Champs and Challengers. There were 16 pro teams. So you played 8 on the pro field and 8 on the Challengers field. Now we're running 20.
I think Champs and Challengers was 10 and 10.
Might have been 10 and 10.
Yeah. But yeah, 10 on each field. And yeah, you got less teams all around.
Yeah. So now on those 2 fields, we'd be running 46 teams. So it's a big swing from 20 to 46 on the same footprint, and we're a bigger footprint. So yes, it would be hard to go to those stadiums. It'd be hard to do the turf too. That system is not a viable one.
Yeah, Tom, what about doing like a one-off event? It's still part of Major League Paintball. That's like a 7-man, maybe it's invite only. Maybe it's open to everybody. I don't know. But like offering a different style that's outside of, the major tournaments so that the top pro teams would go.
So we've done that before. It's been an utter failure. We did the Winter Classic.
That wasn't a different format.
It was 5-man.
It's a little different.
I guess. I don't know. 5-man and X-Ball, you're playing the same game. It's just like,
So you feel like the 2 extra people is like a whole different dynamic.
Bigger field, 2 extra people. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like the snake that looks like the snake, like with those bunkers.
I'm not against doing a one-off event. It's risky, right?
No, definitely. Yeah.
And Bunker Fest is running one. Go play his 7-man.
Do they have 7-man now?
Yeah, I think Mardi Gras this year is a 7-man. So.
Oh, got it. All right.
But I don't know if he's gonna let the pros play. But I don't know. I'm
good.
not speaking on him. But yeah, go play. Yeah. If you want to give 7-man a shot, go play Bunker Fest.
I don't think I can.
I don't know because I don't know if it's Bunker Fest or is because that's the league, but I think that event's called Mardi Gras. So go try Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras, man, that was my first tournament ever when I was 14 years old. Was Mardi Gras. Shout out to Mardi Gras one time.
Shout out, yep.
Nice.
Mardi Gras, Tom. It's a good place.
Mardi Gras, it's a brutal event.
Yeah. I never went to a Mardi Gras.
You missed. Yeah,
it's popping.
It's a good party town, but the paintball was horrible.
Yeah,
we never got to go.
My first tournament, I think there was like 2 feet of water out there that we were running through. It was wild.
It's crazy because I don't ever remember like being mad about the expectations. You know what I mean? You're always sucked to play in that format, but I don't ever remember being mad about it. You know what I mean?
No, we had fun.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
We were enjoying the fact that we're able to go to a paintball tournament, show up, get geared up. If it's raining and swampy and whatever, we would just go run around in it, go get it.
Yeah, I don't do cold anymore, so I'm not playing in the wet and cold. I watched the impact practice. I think it was the impact practice at Dave Mays' Park.
Oh yeah,
it was cold, wet, and rainy.
I was there.
It doesn't matter what you wear. As soon as you dive in the snake, you're wet. You know what I mean? And miserable the rest of the day.
Yeah, that's true. I was there. It was not great. Could have been a lot worse though. We dodged a little bit of a bullet. It was supposed to rain all 4 days, and we just got a little bit of drizzle. But it was chilly.
Yeah, it can be chilly up there for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. So, right. Tom, what is next for Major League Paintball? What kind of cool things can you share or talk about, if any? What can the listeners expect from you guys?
That is a good question. I'm not going to divulge too much. I gave you guys some little insight there earlier, but we're just going to keep plugging away. I mean, we got to recover from this last one, right? We don't want to take on too many things. I kept calling that event a bridge too far, right? If you guys know the story of that, but like, I felt like we were trying so many new things all at one time that we had a good chance of dropping the ball on one of them, right? So, we want to make sure that we are solid before we do something new. So we probably won't be announcing anything new, like as far as on our side, till 2025. We may try and do, so we keep trying these new formats. So we may do another format at Atlantic City on that Thursday on the pro field. We may have a pro new format. So
Wait, what does this one look like?
I'm not revealing that on this show.
Give us something. Give us something.
You hated my last format. Nothing. Tell people to chime in on your show. Tell them to give us a good format they want to try.
I could save you a lot of time if we talk about it right now.
I'd much rather just do it and deal with the ridicule.
Okay. Yeah, that seems like the theme.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we love the format we have now, right? So you can't ask an existing customer, you know what I mean? Like if every day you go to Chick-fil-A, you can't be like, so what kind of burger you want, right? You obviously like Chick-fil-A. We're
yeah, but there's no other options, Tom. So people that go to Chick-fil-A, they have options. They can go anywhere else.
I'm giving you options.
I don't have any other options.
I'm giving you options.
As a customer, I have one option.
Love X-Ball. We would like to give you another option. You can go play on another day. Like your 7-man thing. We're just doing it on the same weekend.
Okay.
So this is intriguing. I like this.
So is there like 2 buzzers at the center 50 this time?
Buzzers in every bunker. They were listening.
Was there something for buzzers? Go ahead,
do you have a sidearm?
Yeah. Is that what's going
on?
Who
wants the sidearm? Is that Tyler? Is Tyler the one that wants the sidearm?
Everyone does. Not just me. Everyone. Everyone does.
You think it would change anything if all you guys played with pistols? I think it would.
I think just like, of course, the game would change tremendously, but the ability to, like, if you take your sidearm, that's it. That's what you got for the rest of the game. As soon as you've made that choice, you have to put your marker. Like
everybody play with sidearms. We call it cops and robbers or something. Everybody go out there and see how it goes.
It would be really interesting to watch, like, top pros play against each other with the sidearm kind of style. A lot more movement. You got to be really accurate.
It's funny. I got an argument with someone like during the 10-man, like recently when we had everybody's always pitching different formats, right? And I was like, the funny thing is, it's the same damn team wins, right? Dynasty won the 10-man ICC, right? Then they won, the event. Then they win the UWL. They win the 5-man. They win. It doesn't matter what the format is. The good teams win. I bet if we did pistols, we'd almost end up with the same top 4.
Yeah, I agree.
Three of the top 4 would still be the same.
Yeah, and I mean, we have Blake, who's like a pump professional. So
he came from our world.
That's where he came.
Yeah. UWL.
I know what format we're trying.
What format are we trying?
Limited paint.
That's it's not a bad one. It's not really a format. Who'd you talk to about that? Someone
Who don't I talk to, Tom? Or maybe I didn't talk to anybody. Maybe I'm just fishing.
I'll tell you this. So Bart came up with the best idea. Well, Bart came up with a great idea. I'm mad that I didn't think of it. He wants to play.
That's jealousy, Tom. It's not good for you.
I know. It is. we all get it. I mean, I spend like every waking moment thinking of a new format, and he just calls me. He's like, "Hey, I got this idea," and I was like, "Damn, that works." So, all right. So let's say you got 4 teams. You got Hurricanes. You got Dynasty. You got Houston Heat. You got Impact. Right. So that's the 4 teams. So the first match is Dynasty versus Heat. Right. You guys play. Dynasty wins because that's the way my math always works. Dynasty wins. Then Heat leaves the field, and then Impact comes on. They play. They lose the Dynasty. Dynasty keeps the field. Impact leaves. Now Hurricanes come out and play. So basically, as long as you're the winner, you get to keep starting, and your points get cumulative. And then if you stalemate, if you don't hit a buzzer, then both teams would leave, and the next 2 teams would come on deck. So basically, it's king of the hill. So, and what's interesting is so he pitched this to me, and I was like, that's actually really, really good.
This is the worst idea ever.
I think it's neat. And then I watched Tag, which crushes us. Crushes us in Spectator. Have you ever seen Tag's numbers? It's unbelievable. But regardless, they play that format. So look at you. You're in pain.
I'm in so much pain, Tom. Oh, I'm in so much pain. How do you build a story? How do you build a story like between 2 teams, 2 titans going at it, and like the development of like coaching? And I mean, that you would still have those nuances if in that as well, but like sports are meant to be seen between two individuals or two entities. You know, that's it. And to introduce, it's, oh no, Tom, don't worry, you didn't come up with it because it's actually not that good of an idea.
All right. Well, I thought it was a good idea. Tyler, what do you think?
I think it goes away from the like
you
you
say
said,
it sucks. Don't hurt my feelings.
the
All right,
rivalry.
Well, this one wasn't my idea. At least I didn't steal it. At least I didn't steal it and try and sell it as my own.
Because there's just so much. So personally, I know it probably won't ever happen, but as soon as the split deck thing also kind of goes against watching sports because, like Marcelo said, sports is like this entity versus this entity. You're going to watch this thing all the way through. Boom, this is who's playing. And also, I think that if that happens, it makes the game much more difficult because people have to go back to back to back to back, and it's super tiring. So, like, if you take out the split deck somehow for pro paintball, I think that changes things pretty drastically and pushes the sport forward.
I'll make a deal with you. We can take it out, but your entrance fee is now $7,000.
Woo! Oh, okay, never mind. Leave it in there.
I'm good.
I know.
Ty, you're good with it.
Okay, so if we pay for it, hold on. We could pay for it and then we can do it that way. PTG will sponsor it. We'll rally.
That's one of the challenges, like with designing it. Let's go through that, right? So that's one of the challenges of the format and what we're trying to do, right? So we're trying to. We have so many customers, right? You have the spectator that's a customer. You have the sponsors that are customer. You have the players that are customer, and then you have the team owners that are customers. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to design a product to hit all those needs.
Yes.
And it's challenging, right? So like X-Ball, like the current derivative we have hits most of those needs. Mm-hmm. That's why it's a great format.
It is.
With split deck, you can still in post-production tell the story of a match.
I believe that they should only film one match.
Oh,
I've been thinking that the whole time. I believe that
interesting.
They should. So let's just say it's Houston Heat versus Dynasty, and you got Impact versus the Hurricanes, right? Prelims. So when Dynasty's playing Heat, that's the match we cover. And then when Impact goes out and plays the Hurricanes, then we leave that match out. They just go straight to animation. They show like what the moves were. We go back to some old videos, we do whatever, and we let that point play because we're always complaining that there's not enough time to tell the story.
So I say we leave it because I like being able to watch all the teams. I really enjoy that.
But Tom, I love that idea. I mean, because I've been saying for a long time, it's how the NFL does it. You don't get on prime time. Last year, they literally switched prime time games because halfway through the season, they're like, these teams are not who we thought. The Broncos are not who we thought they are. They're actually not going to be the Monday night game anymore. I always thought like take the teams that just don't get that many views, aren't as followed. It really doesn't even have to do with how good your team is. It just matters if people tune in to watch you or not. And some of your games are going to be on the other field, but you wouldn't even have to do that in your idea. It's just those are the games that aren't broadcasted. And if you want to watch every game, I'm with you. I love as a competitor being able to watch all of the games from my hotel room, but I could get to the field. We could get to the field and watch,
of course,
and that would help the broadcast a lot.
I think it would help the broadcast a lot too. But once again, then we have the spectator who wants to watch every game, or the parents of, the guy on the Hurricanes that wants to watch it that didn't get to watch that game. But I mean, you still would. I mean, what do we run? I don't know how many matches we run now on the pro field, but you'd get to watch half of them, right? And we wouldn't necessarily do it just for the, obviously it would always be the Titans, but the Titans are also always playing someone that's not a Titan on the first 2 days, right? So everybody would get some showtime.
Mm-hmm.
So
and you could still air even though that team that didn't get the airtime, that still can get recorded and uploaded and
live streaming. You just would be live streaming without the commentator on a different channel, right? So there would be just a live feed of what the cameras were seeing without all the commentating for every match. And then if you're watching the story match, you would go through it.
Yeah, that way everyone still gets the video.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
Yeah, I strongly I take that back. just because I haven't had enough time to sit with it. But I don't initially like the idea of playing multiple teams and having a cumulative score based on play. That's like, to me, that's super gimmicky. And I understand things like tag and all that, get these views, but I would just really like to see what we're doing all the way through first. And,
we're like, and let's be clear, everybody gets mad at me all the time. I am not trying to change our core product. Mm-hmm. I am trying to find a burger for Chick-fil-A, right? Like, we're always like, I think what we're playing right now is amazing, right? It's fun to watch. There's obviously stuff that we can do better right on our end, on the webcast end and all that stuff, but I think it is an amazing format. Just look at the growth, right?
Right.
And consistency, this is Jason Trozen's mantra, right? Consistency is one of the reasons why it's growing as well, because we've been playing the same format basically since 2015. Mm-hmm. In the old, we were changing stuff every year, just the industry, just to try and chase this stuff. I'm still chasing like a more affordable format that's easier to run, so that we have another a blue collar format, we'll call it, right? And so I'm kind of chasing that thing. I'm not trying to change our core product. I'm trying to find another product that enhances this product.
I love that.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like the fries at Chick-fil-A, right?
Oh, and the mac and cheese. Yeah.
Mac and cheese.
Yep. Got to have your mac and cheese.
The chicken noodle soup. They got some good chicken noodle soup too.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah,
big bummer though. They're not open on Sundays, so
every time I go, it seems like it's a Sunday.
Yeah, I'm like, oh man, I want some.
You know what, Tom? That means you're going on the right day.
Yeah. Good point. Good point.
They did just change their, I think something about their chicken though. Be on the lookout. There's some news breaking about the Chick-fil-A chicken.
Whoa.
Get in there.
That's good.
Tom, we got you for like just about 10
minutes.
Yeah, about not even. So I do want to, before we jump into the Discord questions, because we have some of those, and as I was reading them, I realized we asked some of them already. Our members are on it, but again, I just want to ask, as far as media goes, I know in one of the previous episodes with you, you were talking about, potentially pitching stuff to outside, services. Is there anything going on in the media side of things that you can talk about?
No, I will say we have some cool news coming.
Awesome.
I wouldn't say, I'm not going to say it's great. It's not like a Netflix or a ESPN or anything like that, but it is something that's cool that will show that we are moving in the right direction. I'd say a week at the tops.
Whew. Awesome. All right.
We'll see you in a week.
What if we talk about it now and we wait to air this episode until next week?
I trust you not that much.
You should.
We could absolutely do it.
Could be done.
Let's talk. Why don't we talk about it next week?
Because next week we can't do a show. We're actually doing 2 shows tonight. I'm moving, so we're doing.
I'll delay the news for you.
Ooh.
Okay.
Done. All right. You heard you. All right, Tom.
All right.
We'll do a little call-in breaking news. I love it.
Yeah,
there you go, Tom. Let's go, baby.
Awesome. Well, that's exciting. Cool. So again, I just to kind of recap, the Summit Awards, Vegas being the biggest non-World Cup event that we've ever had, rivaling previous World Cups, which is amazing. Now potentially some outside media interest. Hertz being happy with the sponsorship. My goodness, Tom, you're doing a great job.
How about the parity of the Pro League? This is something I've been preaching forever.
Yeah.
I think 20 teams was a good move, right? As far as the parity. I mean, we got some grief on that earlier, but I do believe that helped, right?
Yeah.
I mean, a big shout out to all the new teams, that went and won a match. We've got to answer the AC Diesel question, what they're doing wrong, but I guess they got to answer that. But I thought we had great parity. 19 teams went ahead and won a match this weekend or last weekend. So 19 of 20 teams won a match.
Dang, that's cool. The sport is strong right now. Paintball and pro paintball in general.
It used to be you show up and there was always a slouch team that you took for granted in your division, and that just doesn't happen anymore.
That's right. That's absolutely right. So then that would have been AC Diesel that was the only team.
That was my face. I'm surprised. I didn't realize. when you put it
They
in
were the only
perspective
team.
like that,
They
it's
were
crazy.
the only team that didn't win a match.
Wow.
Yeah.
And a lot of the matches were lost by 1 point.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not like anybody was getting smoked. It'd be a neat anybody on this that wants to do that. It'd be neat to have a comparison of like points, the differential from these tournaments to like, let's say 6 years ago or 10 years ago. To just see how the,
average points played throughout an event.
Well, average what the differential and the wins losses are, right?
Oh, okay.
Because like back in the day, you used to get mercied at 7, right? And I felt like that happened a lot. I just watched an old Impact video where they got mercied 7-0, right? And now you see the points. Now it's always come down to a nail biter. I mean, we had a triple overtime in the Hurricanes game. You know what I mean? I mean, that's some paintball.
It's exciting.
Exciting,
it's
for
exciting.
Sure. Yeah, and it was really cool to see Blast Camp and Fit have really good events. I know Fit went 1-3, Blast Camp also, I believe, went 1-3, but like you said, their games were close, and Fit easily could have been 2-2, maybe even 3-1, and moving on.
Was amazing this weekend. I mean, it was. There's a lot of people that 3 years ago, you could see people online saying they don't deserve a pro spot, and then here they are in the running. So
absolutely. Tom, let's dive into the Discord questions, and then we'll let you go. I'm going to start it off with Mark Paris. He says, Tom, it seems like a big deal was made about signing Hertz as a sponsor, but the players don't really know what that did for the sport. Can you shine some light on what the Hertz deal has enabled or is going to enable the MLPB/NXL to do?
That's a good question. All right, so first, we are quick to move, right, where Hertz is not so quick to move. So we signed the deal probably 2 weeks before the event, I'm guessing, right? 2-3 weeks, something like that. So before we can really give the discount out to everybody and go public with everything, we need their landing page that has all their legal notices on it. So hopefully we're going to have that this week from them because they're just, like I said, they're not built to move that fast. They're a big company. So they vet everything and go through some processes. And what it's going to do for us as a sport is hopefully bring in more outside sponsorship. I mean, it was not, we have an NDA, but it wasn't like a huge deal. I saw the $500,000 thing. I believe Will Ball for Soup, we give him a shout out. He put up that it was $500,000. There's nowhere near $500,000, right? No one's going to give us $500,000 first out of the gate, right? Like what were they bidding against? You know what I mean? Like, why would someone give us $500,000, right? Was there a $400,000 guy in the wing that I was just keeping to try and keep his leverage? So that's obviously foolishness. So they're giving the players a discount. They're giving us a discount. And there is obviously some money on the table there for the league. And hopefully that's going to lead to bigger and better things in the future.
And if it does, what's the plans with that? Where does it ultimately lead?
Well, hopefully it leads to more prize package, right? It leads to more money in your pockets. Something's going to happen on that side. We're going to have to decide how to handle that once we have this overflow of money. I always call it chasing unicorns. I don't slow down for unicorns. So until I see one, I'm going to not put up a sign about it. But if we start getting big outside sponsorships, we're going to have to talk about that, right? And see what we can best do with it. But also, we have to reinvest into growing the game too, right? Like we just did a big investment into that award show, right? And the industry show, right? So we keep wanting to do these things moving forward. And the real world's expensive. That's the one thing that as a paintball player, I've had to learn the hard way, right? Like when you start talking to people about making a video, like a behind the scenes video, right? Like we get quotes of, a lot of money, $200,000 for an hour-long show, right? Like that's real money. And that's what the rest of the world spends. So if you want to be legitimate, you're going to have to spend some money somewhere. So
I love it. I'm all for putting that money back into things like, the award show, making what we do a little more glamorous, bigger venues, better venues, all of it. That's, I would rather it go towards any of that before it goes back into our pocket as pro players personally. I'm sure some other pros that might not feel that way. That's how I feel.
Yeah, no, I think we have a great relationship with the pro teams right now, pro players and the pro teams.
Yeah, agreed. I think it's the best it's ever been.
Other than Archie, we'll give him a shout.
Archie loves you guys. We are excited to have him on.
I think we've had a great rapport with everybody. So yeah, I think it's going good.
Yeah, and you guys have been crushing it. Shout out to the NXL and Major League Paintball. The branding just looks so sharp, especially like when it was on those huge screens in Las Vegas. It was like, wow, this looks official. It looks really good.
Absolutely.
All right, we got Osborne for this. He says, Tom, 20 to 25 pods combined per 5 players or uncapped. Which do you think is better for the fans in the game?
So I hate uncapped, right? Unless you're going to go mechanical. Yeah. I hate uncapped.
That's what I've always said too, yeah.
There's just too much you can do with the guns on a technical side, and I don't want to turn the events into technology police, right? I mean, we went through that whole era when everybody had the ramping and cheater guns, and that's all we talked about. That's all we dealt with. It was just nonstop drama trying to catch the heathens, right? And the problem is once someone thinks someone else is doing it, then they justify to do it themselves. I mean, you played with Bobby, you know what I mean? It's going to turn it into a disaster, right?
It was madness. Remember the robot? The robot that was all this thing we had to take around everywhere.
I'm gonna say half of it was faked. I refused to I think it was Dynasty. I don't know who it was, but someone like the robot said they were shooting 38 balls per second or whatever. And I did not trust the technology enough to give it was like a lifetime ban or something. And I'm like, I can't give a lifetime ban for some technology that I have no idea if it's working.
Yeah.
Right. There was no way to prove that or whatever. So what was the second part of that? 25 pods?
They were saying either 20 or 25 pods per 5 players, which it would insinuate 4 or 5 pods for the team for each player. Or I guess you could redistribute them. I think that's what he's kind of alluding to, is that maybe your back guy gets 5 and then your front guy gets 3 or something like that.
Yeah, once again, I think it's neat. I think I am kind of a fan of limited paint personally, but I worry about the consequences it would have to the game, right? Like we're crushing it right now, right? Like we're up team count, we're all that stuff. Decisions like that are scary. I would not like to have it where different players had different amounts, because if in the heat of the moment someone screws that up, we're deciding the game because Marcelo had to run out there at the last second and Ryan has 10 pods and he's got 10 pods and they lose the whole point because of that. That's not how we want to determine who wins the cup.
Or we win it because the ref misses it, right? Like it's twofold there.
It just adds a lot of elements from the referees.
For sure.
Yes.
For sure. This is a pretty good question, and I'm gonna pull this up here really quick. But it's Tom, has the league considered this is from Fab? Has the league considered allowing media to be on the back line at ground level to capture better visual angles of what players are shooting at? A lot of the current angles are from the side or bird's eye view and simply don't show the excitement of the balls flying through the air. Go Sports arm camera just isn't getting it done as it's not ground level. Can you please consider adding some sort of media hideout along the back of the pro field? This bunker from Sup Air would be perfect. And I'm going to show it here. I'm going to actually share it on the screen.
It's got a window.
So you can see it.
Yeah, it's like a nice DL bunker.
Yeah, here it is. So all the listeners, you could head in and check it out. But
so that is pretty cool. That? So Verbal hit me with this, and I'll admit I dropped the ball on this. We should have backline photographers. So we brought in a videographer from NASCAR, to kind of give us some technical specs on what we can do to improve it. And one of his suggestions is to make the field longer, to make the dead zone behind the field longer, and give a good telephoto lens able to film from the back. And so that is something we need to try. Maybe we'll be trying that in Texas. And we could theoretically make something like this. I'm speaking out of turn because I have to talk to my ops guy. But yes, that's a great idea.
Awesome. Love that.
So Verbal hit me with it first. I just haven't implemented it. So
okay. Hell yeah, Verb.
There we go, nice. Verb. All right, I got to show love to Did It Hurt podcast. Check it out if you have not. OG, Tom, will there be more snake versus D-side layouts like Vegas? Who comes up with that concept? And then Papa Sosh said Jason Trosen, J-Tro does all the layouts.
J-Tro does all the layouts. I don't see them. I get stressed when they drop. But it's a challenging job he's got over there, right? He's got to keep coming up with new layouts.
Yes, it is.
I mean, we got all that grief because of all the snakes. There was some pretty good memes out there. I mean, I like snakes in my real life. So there was so many snakes, right? I didn't know what he was planning, you know what I mean? And I was, as surprised as everyone else when we saw the amount of snake beams we were going with. But I thought that layout was pretty cool. I mean, it was stressful to watch. It was confusing. I think I said something about that, but it looked like it was fun to play.
It was.
And that's one of the key components we're here for, is to make it fun to play. So, and once again, I believe the same team won.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Jason Trosen has a tough job creating all these layouts. Yeah,
he's got a tough job creating all these layouts, and then all the the internet warriors that critique it, go through the whole thing. And Marcelo.
It was fun.
I felt so bad because I love Jason, and first thing when he saw me, he was just so disappointed in my comment on the NXL Instagram, and I was like, bro, that was funny, and I give you guys so much love.
What did you say? What did you say?
I word for word was, "You have got to be kidding me."
That's not funny. That's just a statement.
So it's funny. It's funny because of this show. Because ever since Texas 2 years ago, I've done nothing but talk about why I think that style, that concept is not good for viewership. It's really confusing to talk about. And so that's why, like, I thought it was funny, because most people that are at those things, they listen to the show, so they know, like that. And also, I had thought that the perception from the league and from Jason also was that, yeah, we tried it, it didn't really work, it was really confusing for viewers. And then it drops, and like that was literally the first thing that popped into my head. And so I thought it was, I don't know, I thought it was kind of funny. Got a lot of engagement. A lot of other people thought it was funny.
I mean, there's some hilarious. I mean, like, there's some memes out there. Some people put some time in and come up with some pretty good stuff occasionally. So
I think Jason, well, and you guys, I think, like, honestly, 99% of the time, you guys are batting 100% of the time. No, that's not how it goes. Batting 1,000, batting 1,000.
I mean, we all screw up, right? You guys do occasionally get shot, right? So
100%.
Even though you are the best in the planet, right? So yeah, we make some mistakes for sure.
I just felt bad because it was like Jason, he's like the nicest person, and it wasn't like he wasn't mad at all. He was just like, like I'm kind of hurt by that. I was like, oh, bro, I didn't mean it to be like that. It's kind of funny. I still disagree with it. I hope we don't. And it was fun to play. That's the thing.
It's a fine line, right? Like
it is.
I heckle people when they say stuff about us online, right? But it's you don't want to manage the information, right? We just don't want to put something out that you guys don't like and have you guys lie about it and say you like it, right?
Yeah, of course. I know.
And that's the right solution, right?
I know. So, and that was my point to him. I'm like, brother, I back you guys up on like majority of the stuff that you do because I believe in it. But the stuff that I don't, I'm going to speak up on it. And like that style of the layout, the way it's got to be. I firmly believe it's confusing for the viewers. It's just hard to commentate. When you have all the pros.
I was watching it. It even messed me up because I was watching the webcast and I was watching it live. And I was like, why is he standing over the top? When I was like, oh, they're both standing over the top. Like, it was really confusing because they're at the same spot.
When you have all of the pros having a tough time talking about the field, that's probably not good for what the commentator's jobs are. But
we're layman to watch it and understand it.
Right. Anyway, my last question, Tom, and then we'll let you go unless Ty has one more, but it's from Inspired Paintball, and it's, Tom, Vegas was a great event to watch. Thanks for all you do. After watching events on Go Sports, yellow shell is without a doubt the best color for viewers. Can we get yellow shell for pros, please?
Tell him I appreciate the compliment. I appreciate him learning that slowly, but there's no way I can switch back until the end of the year, so I apologize.
Okay. Hey, that's fair. I do agree. I think yellow shell would be the move. But
did you not previously say that it should be pink?
No. I have always said I think yellow's the best decision. I supported the pro pink thing because it's a move in the right direction, but I have definitely always thought that yellow would be the ball to go with.
No problem. All right, Tyler, what do you got? We need like a fact checker to go back and check all this.
So what I had always said, actually, Tom, was that I believe it should be the way the paint is now with that yellow fill and a clear shell. So it would essentially be a yellow ball. But then I learned and was told that it's actually more expensive to make a clear shell which I didn't know. But yes, yellow was always the color that I thought would look a little more professional. But
the pink looks great. It's like the best optically for people to see as well. So the pink and the yellow, having these neon colors are really going to help with the video, and just people on the sidelines can see it a little bit better, which is awesome. I know that people were really excited that everyone got on board. GI kind of did, half purple, half pink, but everyone got on board and had a pink paintball out there.
Well, they did get on board, that's for sure. Well, we'll take a shot there, but the one of the things I'm looking into, and have your media guys look into this. I'm actually probably going to go to the NAB show to try and do some research in this, but I feel like there needs to be there's got to be a lens that amplifies a certain color so that on the screen it kind of makes that color stand out. It's sort of like when you wore yellow lenses back in the day, right? You could see different colors pop. There's got to be a way for a lens to make certain colors come out.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So if we put a filter over top of a lens that made yellow stick out, or pink or blue or whatever the color is, to make it so it kind of slows it down and makes that there. So
no, it was awesome to see. Everyone was loving the pink shell. Shooting.
Pistols would make it much more viewable too there, Tyler. We'll give you your shout there, right?
Yeah.
You'd only be aiming, you'd only be able to shoot like 10 times. So if you pulled up your pistol, we'd know you were shooting at.
Well, I think that it would make for some pretty engaging content if someone puts their main marker down and then goes to their pack and is able to go.
The option. I'm just going to make all you guys start with pistols.
Oh man. Okay, we could do that too. That sounds fun.
I like it.
Sounds fun.
Tom, thank you so much. We are going to be hounding you over the next week for that big breaking news about some mysterious outside media company.
Big breaking news. I said it was cool news. It's not building up.
That's the same thing, dude. Same thing. Cool news, breaking news, big. It's all relative. Same thing.
For me, it's cool. For me, it's cool.
Awesome. Then I'm sure it's pretty damn cool, Tom, because you're one of the coolest cats around. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm known for, is being cool.
Khakis are making a comeback because of you. Cargo shorts, khakis. Yeah, they're like a thing now with the young kids.
This is true.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
See, if you wait long enough, you'll come back in style.
That's
you
right.
Outlasted the trends.
That's the trends. You got this. All right. Thanks, guys.
Tom, thank you.
Tommy, thank you, brother. Have a good night.
Talk to you soon.
Peace.
That's great. He is the man. And paintball's in such a good spot right now. I can't, say it enough. Really excited for the future of the game. And this season is going to continue to be incredible. I'm really excited for the news. He did share with us before the episode. I'm super bummed that we couldn't, discuss it there, but we'll break that news in a couple weeks here on PTG. It's definitely exciting for paintball.
Yes. Yep. And they're working hard. Everyone's working hard. And we hope you all enjoy the preparation, getting ready for the next event. We're all heading out to Texas, and that's just a few weeks away.
Yep. All right, everybody.
Have a good night. Peace.
Peace. All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. If you enjoyed the show, please head over to ptgpaintball.com. Click the orange Patreon link in the corner and support the show. We greatly appreciate it. We have tiers as low as $1.99 a month. That is nothing, guys, and it'll give you access to the Discord, where you get access to the players chat and get to mingle with the entire PTG community. We have tons of different pros in there. Tyler and myself are very active, and it's an amazing way to support the show. We also have amazing other tiers. If you want to be one of the best, want to be a GOAT, sign up for the GOAT tier. It's the greatest way to support us. And each month we do a private live stream show, one-on-one kind of thing, to where it's just the GOATs, and Tyler and myself will bring in some special guests every now and then, but you get to ask us questions in real time, live on the air, and you get lots of inside juicy news that we don't share on the show. So, as always, we will see you guys very soon.